Hey guys and girls, it's football Saturday in the South, and I'm sitting here at a Love's truck stop with no TV to watch. So I guess I'll have to find me a game on my phone with Hulu or something. But the reason I started making this video was I was just reading a story online, and it's the same old story that you hear over and over and over again about owner operators that, you know, they started off with kind of a shoestring budget, and there's nothing at all wrong with that. There's a lot of businesses that are enormous businesses today that started off on a shoestring budget, didn't have much startup capital, started off in the garage or a bedroom of their home. You know, that's kind of the way small businesses are created in many instances. But it's the same old story with this industry. You know, this guy invested his life savings to get into the trucking business, and he got his own authority, got his truck, etc. Been driving for a company for 4 or 5 years. Then he went bankrupt. Said he's out 2 and 3 weeks at a time and just wasn't making any money. And we tell you why he isn't making any money. He's letting the brokers dictate the rate to him. You know, I've said it before many times. I've talked to other drivers, you know, when we're getting loaded or unloaded or sitting at a truck stop. The brokers all have one thing in common. They have no means to move these loads. You're going to have 1 million loads a day. Don't do you a damn bit of good, and you ain't going to make any money if you don't have a means to move that load. This is your asset. You're the one who bought this truck. You're paying for this truck. You're maintaining this truck. They have to have you in order to move that load. You know, and I'm not talking about companies like J.B. Hunt and Werner and such as that. I'm talking about the C.H. Robinsons, the Convoys, the Coyotes, Axle Logistics, and all of these other brokers out there. Of course, they want you to move that load for as little as possible to give them the greatest profitability as possible. But if you do that, you are bankrupting yourself. They're not doing it to you. They're just being good business people, better business people than you are. You know, I just took a load, and I'll be glad to put a screenshot of it in with this video. I picked the load up in Tullahoma, Tennessee, took it to Kutztown, Pennsylvania, which is up north of Harrisburg. It was under 17,000 pounds, paid me $3.80 a mile. You know, that's less than I like to do things for. But my point is, you do not have to take the cheap rates they offer you. I just had a broker with Axle Logistics just now offer me a load for $2,000, which is below the low end average rate for that particular lane. The average rate is almost $2,500. So they're already offering me $500 less than the low end of the lane. And you don't have to take what they offer you. You know, this is your asset. This is your expense. This is your livelihood. Maximize it. If you go and apply for a job, I don't care if you're working retail or if you're driving a truck or digging a ditch. You do not have to accept the rate of pay that they are offering you. You have the freedom and the ability to negotiate a better deal, a higher rate. What do you think you are worth? Reasonably. Take your asset, your skill set, your experience. Now, what do you think you're worth? Can that broker hop in a truck and drive that load somewhere? No. Can they back up to the dock? Probably not. You know, they do what they do. They get loads and they push loads out. You have to do what you do. You have to know your business. You have to know your costs. What does it cost you to operate? Factor that in, combine that with the annual salary that you want to make. What do you want to pay yourself? And then a reasonable profit for your business, because you have to figure it that way. You can't figure it that, well, my truck's paid for, I need to make $3,000 this month to be able to pay all my bills and still have a little left over. You can't run a business that way. You're going to go bankrupt. You have to look at each load. What are your costs? When you deadhead to pick up a load, that's costing you money. That is benefiting you nothing, because empty trailers don't pay anything. And it doesn't matter if you're deadheading 5 miles or 500 miles. There is a cost associated with running that truck. When you put the key in the engine or in the ignition, when you put the key in the door to unlock the door, it costs you money. So you have to be aware of what those costs are. What does it cost you to operate each and every day? What does it cost to operate that truck? What does it cost to pay you? Pay for your retirement, pay for your health insurance, all of these things. If you do not cover your costs, you're not going to even break even on a thing. Stop hauling these loads. You have tons and tons and tons of tools available online to help you make a profit, to help you build a business. If you would follow those basic principles, know your numbers, know what your costs are, know what you have to have in order to pay yourself a salary, pay for your truck, maintain your truck, pay for the repairs, etc., your insurance, your fuel, everything, and still be able to make a profit. There's no reason for anyone to be out here hauling loads for $2 a mile. There's no reason for people to be out here hauling loads. I don't care how far the load goes. It can go from here to California. A mile is a mile, and your cost stays the same. So stop believing the bullshit that these brokers are feeding you. You know, it's getting into the end of the year. So January, February, March, they're going to be telling you how it's so slow and rates are down and blah, blah, blah. I can promise you this, their profitability is not down. The margin that they are getting on each load is not down. The only thing that is down is you. You're down and you're damn near out if you don't start turning things around and start running your trucking business like a business. You know, if Loves and Pilot and Flying J and TA and all of these other truck stops don't know their costs, they don't know how to make a profit. They'd be out of business in no time. This business is no different than running a convenience store, running a hotel, or anything else. You have costs that you have to cover. Then you also have to pay yourself. You have to pay your self-employment tax. You have to pay your Social Security. You had to pay for your health insurance. You had to pay for your 401k if you have one. You have to pay for everything and then still make a profit. So you have to understand how business operates. You have to understand what it costs you to run. Me, I have to factor my costs at $1.25 a mile. That's what it costs me in order to pay for everything and just break even. That's before I factor in my own profitability. That's my hard cost. paying my salary, okay? Paying for my insurances, paying for my fuel, paying for my maintenance. It costs me a hard $1.25 a mile. I guarantee you, I don't care if you have a truck payment or not, you cannot run for less than $1 a mile, your costs. So if it's costing you $1 a mile, just to use a number, then at a bare bones minimum, you need to be charging a minimum of 2.5 times what it costs you to operate. Just to give you some ballpark numbers. So if it's costing you $1 a mile, then you need to be collecting a fee of $2.50 per mile or more. Makes sense? And it doesn't matter if the load's going 100 miles or if the load's going 5,000 miles. Your costs will not change. Your costs are going to be consistent. The only thing that's going to change is your fuel costs, and that's because that's going up and down, up and down. So you have to factor in, that's your only variable. You have to factor that into your costs. You have to allow for that. So whenever fuel costs go up, guess what? Your bottom line rate needs to go up accordingly. So if you're typically if you're typically charging $2.50 a mile with fuel prices as they are right now, if fuel price goes up another 3 cents a gallon, you need to up yours 5 cents a mile. Very easy, okay? You have to know what it costs you to sit. If my truck is sitting for a day, not doing anything, then I've just lost a minimum of $1,200. You have to know what your costs are. You have to know that in order to reach your profitability. ProDriverTools.com has some tools available online, free, to help you. We're building videos, probably going to put together a podcast soon as well. We're going to build some instructional videos to help people understand how to figure their costs and how to calculate their costs. But I mean, nobody, no owner operator, no small fleet operator, nobody should be out here running for less than what it costs them to operate. You're going to be broke and working for someone else real soon. And it could be worse. I mean, you can lose your home, you can lose everything. Know what your costs are. Stop bankrupting yourself. Stop putting yourself out of business. You worked too hard to save the money to get into this industry, and you got into it because you wanted to make a better life for yourself. You wanted to make some money for a change. Know your costs, people. Please. Stop hauling this cheap freight. Stop believing the lies and the nonsense that these brokers are trying to tell you. If nothing else, if you got your own authority, go out and find your own shippers. You know, build your own lane. Build you a route where you can pick up around your home area. You pick up a load, you take it to, I don't know, 500 miles away or 1,000 miles away to somewhere, and then you pick up another shipper in that area that's going somewhere else. Build your own lane, going to places that you like to go. You know, you are not required to use a broker. You have hauling authority. You have the insurances in place. You can do this yourself without a broker. Now you could be making a minimum of about $5 a mile. Maybe more. Just depends on the negotiating skills that you have. Please take the time to learn the business. There's more to this business than just driving. Okay? I'm trying to help you. There's, like I said, tons of resources to help you learn the business and become a better professional in this industry. Okay, that's my rant for Saturday. I got to go find some football to watch. You guys be safe out there, and I will see you next time. Bye.